Okay, we were talking about this. So let's go next slide. Challenges in 6G implementation. And we have real challenge. Spectrum scarcity. If you talk to the Ministry of Spectrum, they will tell you the problem, what they in India. Terahertz frequency face signal loss and penetration issues. That's the key point. Then high energy consumption, need for sustainable low power solutions. Security and privacy risk. As we move one to other G and G and G, security has become very important. 1G, nobody talked about security. Actually, security concept came only during the 3G. And thereafter, security became very important. And 6G naturally will have very, very important role for the 6G development. Massive infrastructure, 1G, we put tower, 2G bigger tower and so on, but infrastructure will be much different than what we had in 1G, 2G and 3G.
Sir, I have a question. We say that quantum security cannot be broken. Is it so, or is there a loophole over there also? Because I somewhere read
Everywhere is loophole.
Because I somewhere read in blockchain when I was going through the concept. There is one code which is known as ECC, elliptic curve cryptography. So they said that that is probably the only hashing mechanism which is equivalent to what a quantum does. So in a way, it is something that can even be broken by quantum technology also. So when we talk about quantum security, is it the best possible security which we have, or is there any other technique which is much better than that?
No, we have to go one step ahead.
We have to go
one step ahead. It is not the end of the story.
Okay.
Then massive infrastructure, global transition from 5G to 6G. Economic viability, finance is very important aspects. So balancing the cost, affordability, and profitability. Naturally, as I told you, any technology develop. As an engineer, I develop. But business people will not invest the money when only we say that what is the profit they will have. That is very important for doing any business. So one hand to develop the technology, other hand to do the business. So we have to look the plus and minus point of any technology what we develop. 6G research and installation effort. Finland is number one for 6G. And if you remember, recollect your mind, 3G also Finland was much ahead than other part of the world. Of course, USA is going ahead, number two. European Union, of course, Finland is a part of European Union. Then China trying their best to be number one. And last but not least, Japan, NT Docomo, very leading research lab. NT Docomo, I think perhaps their lab is the biggest in Asia. NT Docomo. Even standardization body, of course, ITU is the global. Without ITU acceptance, you know the full from ITU. Yeah, so that is very, very important. Then IEEE and HC. HC, you know, this is the European standardization body, European Technology Standardization Institute, HC. And I think their headquarters is in France. Then expected commercialization 2030. When it is deployed, commercialization will start. So without any technology developed, standardization is the para important. If it is not standardized, it cannot go to the market. And for that, ITU play a very major role, of course, IEEE. And HC from the European perspective, this is a limited point, but ITU is the most important point to go for standardization. India is the member of ITU, and I think Indian government, they have one particular group whose role is to work with ITU for standardization. So if you are interested, I think it is good to contact the government of India. Ministry of Standardization, I think they have.
Just one question on this. You mentioned 3GPP release 18 plus, which means this 5G upgradation will be till release 17, or it will be?
It will go. It will go ahead. It will not be end. But 18 plus going for the 6G also. So they will go in parallel.
Okay. So some upgradation over 5G, and it will have some features of 6G.
6G also, yeah, right. Then 6G and sustainability. Sustainability is another important aspect. So green business model innovation. Before 6G, people were not talking so much about green aspects, but green has become the key parameter for the future. So there, if you look, renewable energy power, renewable is the word which people are using everywhere. Then eco-friendly devices and materials. That's very important. Then support for carbon free. How much carbon emission is there? That's very, very important aspect. Then development, sustainable development goals, smart agriculture and water aspects, universal global connectivity for rural and underserved regions. So we have to look remote areas also. It is not just we are looking in the big cities like Guwahati or Delhi or somewhere. We have to look the remote areas and villages, how to employ it. And I think Government of India is taking very, very important point from the Ministry of Communication that rural area also should be developed. And if 6G starts, it goes into that direction. The future of wireless communication, all of you are young, you have to look the future. Key prediction for 6G, fully AI-powered self-optimizing network. So that is the key aspects. Seamless human-machine interaction via brain-computer interface. This is another challenge we have. Entirely holographic digital worlds and a smart environment. Quantum internet and ultra-secure computing. So you can see last two is very important, holographic and quantum aspects. Very important for the future development of the technology, not only 6G, but whatever wireless communication we are talking, it is very critical. So this is the first conclusion. We will hear many conclusions. 6G will be the backbone of a fully connected, intelligent world. So far, it was not fully connected till 5G, but 6G will make the fully connection globally, and of course, intelligent world. AI, quantum, and terahertz tech will revolutionize the industries. A new area of ultra-fast, sustainable, and immersive experiences awaits. So really, we are waiting till 2030. These are a new challenge. So the future is now. Let's shape the 6G revolution together. Not one scientist can say I can do. One country cannot say that I can do. We have to do together. India, US, China, Europe, and so on. Only one cannot challenge that this country can do everything. And India is taking the lead. Government of India is investing a lot of money for research. So I will recommend you to apply for the funding for 6G research. I'm sure you will get it. Do you have any 6G research group here? Not yet.
He's having some project from
RIS, we have a project in RIS, we are jointly working on it.
So I recommend strongly to apply for 6G funding. And government has a lot of funding. And you will have good chance to get the funding. And the institute is owned by Government of India, so should not be any problem. Some of private institutes has the problem. I was before coming here, I had a meeting with the ministry, and they told the government wants to give only government institution. Priority is IIT, NIT, then the state government. Only last is the private institutions.
So DOT has huge funding.
Hmm?
Department of Telecommunication has huge funding.
Hmm.
Mostly in crores only,
Hmm.
100 crores to 500 crores. So Department of Telecommunication is one such industry from the government side which, if you get a project, it is not less than 100 crores or not less than that.
So please try.
So we are trying.
Get 200 crore. That will go. Then you're going to appoint many young, bright scientists to work. Because within that, at least you can have very easily 10 young, bright scientists. And for how many years?
So those are usually of 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years. Because mostly it goes to IITs.
Yes, sir. That's not the problem, but that's where the hurdle is from us. So they mainly give it to them.
IITs, and because most of the reviewers are from IITs. That's the problem. But you can talk to the minister directly. And minister is from Orissa, I think, Telecom minister, and he's a nice gentleman. And I may meet him in Delhi. So I will tell him that it is not good that only IITs get the funding. I will tell him. NITs will also get. Definitely will ask which NIT you visited, Professor Prasad. I will mention your name. So state of the art of mobile generation. I think all of you know what that I mentioned at the beginning also. 1G was only analog voice, 2G digital voice, 3G high speed, 4G LTE, 5G all device connected, and 6G is coming forward, where we have the global connectivity. So this is very key aspect, and I mentioned everywhere my book and the chapter from where the slides have been taken. So if you have the slides, you have the book, you can go into detail. This also I have mentioned in the beginning, every year by year. Evolution of mobile network, a brief timeline, 1980s, 1G, analog voice, every 10 years we find a development that all of you know about it. And 10 years is quite a long time to make any technical development. 1990, then 2000, 2010, 20, and 30 we are looking forward. And 30 is not far away, it is only 5 years. Many people say that we have enough time to develop 6G. Not enough time, only 5 years. So really we have to rush to make it happen. Before US, Europe, Japan, China, I think India has to go fast. I don't know how fast India is going ahead for 6G research.
We have a group, Bharat 6G Alliance, Bharat 6G Alliance,
Hmm.
group which is working on the standardization of the work.
They are working. But are they involving NITs? No. Whom they are involving?
I think means
ITs and few companies.
That's all.
And industry.
Which industry?
Like even people are from Bharti Airtel and Jio, they are involved in that particular group.
DOT is leading. Yeah, some people from IT is also there. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. People from DOT is there.
Who is the secretary, Electronics and Information Technology?
Okay,
we have to see it. I think it is not good. NIT gets involved. Not only NIT, all the institutions will get involved in India, even private one, state government ones. But they are only looking at IITs. That's all. They think all India brain is with IITs. Even when I sometime in the ministry, I see all the IIT professors there in the meeting. I never find any of the NITs in the meeting. And that's the once I was invited as an expert, and there also I met only IIT professor, but now I will remember NIT to mention. Yeah. I think this also we have already talked. 1G over we have mentioned key features, limitations, of course, no data service, poor battery life, low capacity and coverage. So 1G has these are the limitations. So we went for 2G. 2G also has the limitations, and basic limitations with the access technology. We had TDMA, and that was not enough to go for the broadband. So we'll start talking about the 3G. About 3G technology become wideband CDMA, as I mentioned to you. The speed went up to 21.6 megabit per second. Features mobile internet, video calls, email, and particularly a smartphone came due to 3G. Limitations, network congestion issues, and a higher power consumption. So 3G also has the drawbacks. So 4G, 11 to 18. It moves fast. Technology, all of you are familiar, long-term evolution. Key features, we went higher side like cloud computing, better spectrum efficiency we went, and limitations, network overload in urban areas. Very, very overloaded, particularly Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai, other places, really overloading. I don't know about Guwahati. Overloading. Then limitation we have again network overload in urban areas and higher battery drain on a smartphone. So 5G tried to cover this. Still we are in the 5G phase, although 6G research is going on. Technology is millimeter wave. Are you familiar with millimeter, all of you? What is the frequency band for millimeter wave?
24 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz.
Hmm. And most of the millimeter wave is still not used. Like for 60 gigahertz, for example, still it needs. And what is the advantage of millimeter wave?
Partners. Advantage is
Hmm.
yes,
Advantage.
disadvantage is partners.
Hmm.
Partners is a
What is the advantage?
it's a huge bet.
Hmm.
High data
High data rate. Line of sight.
line of sight. Yes.
What is the key feature? Of course, latency we talk, massive IoT we mentioned, Industry 4.0. Again, limitation we have. And that's why we are going for 6G, short range coverage, and high infrastructure cost. Cost is very high during the 3G. So, I think already innovation is going on. You can see car is running. When I was in China, and they asked me number of mobile terminals in the world, and I said, count how many cars are running on the Beijing. Count it, and that is the number of mobile phone in the country. Because wherever I was traveling, I see long line with the cars. So I thought, answer is very simple: count the number of the cars. So 5G innovation performance differences, and then I have mentioned about the book and the chapter which I have used. Market evolution. So market evolution is very important parameter. 5G redefines industries with high speed, ultra low latency, and enhanced connectivity. Key sectors adopting 5G is manufacturing, smart factories with real-time automation, healthcare, remote surgeries, AI-powered aspects. Remote surgery has become very popular, particularly in Western world. I don't know how it is happening in India. Not yet. It is still just in the hospital, not remote. And that is very important. We should go ahead with that.
Sir, robots are. I heard some of the surgeries are done with robots. Robots, not with AI.
Not with AI.
Not with remote. Not with robot is there. Some few of the surgeries are nowadays possible using robots. I recently read somewhere, but
Not remote.
not AI powered or not.
No.
Yes.
So still a lot of work has to be done.
Yes.
Robots are used in India.
Robots कुछ experiment
Only experiment or real life?
Sir, experiment लिखा था. Real life तो मुझे लगता नहीं.
I don't think it is real life. Not yet. Not yet.
But sir, in West, for example, in Denmark,
Yeah.
they started surgeries.
Yeah, starting surgery with that. I think one of surgeon I met and he said yes when I asked him.
And what is the accuracy? Is it very good?
According to him, 90%. And 90% is not bad. Not bad. Then automated vehicle, smart traffic systems. Do we have a smart traffic system in India? Not yet. No, it may take another 20 years.
So expecting 10 at least by 10.
Right. Then entertainment. Do we have entertainment aspects? Not yet. And retail aspect, AI-driven personalized shopping experience. Not yet. Already in Western countries, they are having. So a lot of demands are there, and still a lot of work can be done. Each of you can start your own company to apply the technology. I think within 1 year you will become multi-billionaire. This is what I am telling you for the future.
But I still believe, sir, these AI-driven personalized shopping or your immersive VR here, this is still in study phase or it is fully implemented?
Fully implemented. Many countries.
Many countries.
Many countries. What is the challenge? Still, we are talking about 5G deployment, but India already has deployed 5G for the whole country only partially.
So we deployed just one service of 5G, enhanced mobile broadband.
Hmm.
We still not utilized the MMBC and below latency. So just the enhanced mobile broadband.
Only mobile broadband. So infrastructure, high capital investment, this may be the reason. Who are the business people who can invest so much money? Only one.
They have money.
They have money.
They have money.
Adani and
Adani is also.
But only two, Adani and Ambani.
That is what we hear.
A for Adani, A for Ambani. Nobody from Assam. Not yet. Any other, well, Adani and Ambani, they are both from Gujarat, if I am correct. So why not invest the money?
don't have money.
A spectrum availability. What is the government regulation in India?
I think we have recently purchased some for, but they are not yet used for commercial.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But it might
Some
have been,
six is there,
but it
about-
might be approved by Parliament.
Yeah, it has been approved.
Hmm.
Recently, the 5G bands were also put auctioned.
Hmm.
These A companies procured some of them along with some
All the spectrum, only one company,
Most of
Adani or Ambani.
them.
Only Adani.
Then both of them, along with Vodafone, also procured something. Airtel also procured some of the bands.
But it
Not
is,
yet for commercially, not so much. Maybe for research, maybe for more.
monopolized.
Yeah.
Security risk, we have cyber threats in massive IoT network. Then energy consumption, high power demands for dense network coverage. For example, Guwahati, for example, or Delhi. Delhi will be very, very dense. And bigger city like Mumbai, Chennai, and so on. As I told you, always use case is very important aspects. While 5G has enabled several new applications, some challenges remain unsolved. So challenge is there, pushing the industry towards 6G innovation. How 5G is setting the foundation for 6G. So 5G is really is the foundation because suppose you start a building, you need the foundation. For 6G is the 5G is the foundation. That is what important parameter is there. So improved edge, higher bandwidth, quantum security, and AI-driven network. So these are the few parameters which we have to understand. So quantum security, how many of you understand quantum security? Any one of you? He is the security expert. Do you understand quantum security?
Not yet, sir.
Little bit. Little bit. Anybody else clear with quantum security? I think I have to give a lecture on quantum security also.
Something.
Hmm?
Yes, sir, something.
Then a higher bandwidth, I think that everybody understand bandwidth. And improved edge computing, 6G, I think edge computing is with from the 3G we have started learning about edge aspects. 6G will fully integrate AI-driven real-time decision making. So you can see these are the points very critical, and still a lot of work has to be done in 6G within 5 years' time. What is the performance difference between 4G and 5G? I think that you might be familiar, all of you. Are you familiar with the difference between 4G and 5G? All of you? Anyone not familiar? Are you familiar with difference between 4G and which of you are familiar? Just briefly, I have prepared the slides. Speed for the 4G up to 1 gigabit per second, 5G 10 gigabit per second, so 10 times faster as compared with 4G. Latency 50 times lower. As low as possibility is good, so latency is going down. Bandwidth 5 times higher. That is also a good aspect. Then peak data rate 20 times increase, quite large. Then device density 10 times more. Energy efficiency, that is very important, more efficient, and spectrum is 10 times more. So overall 5G is much better than 4G, and 6G has to go beyond that. Still I'm going ahead with only first slide. First lecture slide is still going ahead.
Yes.
First lecture.
I think yes. Day one. Day one.
I'm trying to move fast. 5G advantage over 4G. But you observe very clearly 5G has plus points: 20 times higher speed, 10 times lower latency, support network slicing for customized connectivity, use millimeter wave and beam forming for more efficient signal transmission. Millimeter wave has very, very important advantage. And 60 gigahertz, you know, the plus point of millimeter wave still not has been used compared to other frequency. So it is freely available to apply wherever we like. At the same time, government approval is very simple because it has not been used very much. So this is the advantage of millimeter wave. Then, as I mentioned, line of sight we get that enhances the capacity for the millimeter wave application.
Reuse will be more.
Hmm?
Since the coverage is less, so reuse will be more.
Yeah, it will be more. You are right. Further going ahead, mobile network have evolved from 1G to 5G, improving speed, connectivity, and efficiency. So every generation we moved ahead, we got the plus point. 5G innovations have unlocked new use cases, but also introduced new limitations. And that's why we want to have the 6G. 6G is essential to address 5G shortcomings. This is simple answer. Some shortcomings are there you need the new generations. And to support next generation application like AI-driven automation, holography, and quantum computing. 6G is expected to bring intelligent, sustainable, and ultra-fast networks that will redefine how humans and machine interact. So human-machine interaction is a very, very important part for the 6G investigation. So lesson 1 is finished. We are going to lesson 2. Lesson 1 is finished, means 1 hour is over. Okay. So a glimpse of the future beyond 2020, beyond 5G. Because after 2020, how the things will go, and that is what we are talking about beyond 5G. 6G evolution timeline roadmap. And there I have mentioned 2021, 2024 to 27, then 28 to 29, and 2030 and beyond, when 6G will be deployed. So if you look each point, 2020 to 2030, 5G initial deployment worldwide. Rise of industrial IoT, smart cities, edge AI, and AR, VR apps. So actually, a smart cities already is going ahead with many countries during the 2023 itself. People are talking in India also, but it's still not initiated, to my knowledge, not yet. Because the present government is talking a lot about smart cities in India, but not deployed yet. Then 24 to 27, beyond 5G, research and trials begin. I don't know about India, if trials have begun in India. Not yet. So you have a lot of challenge which you can start in IT. Integration of AI in network management, improved spectrum sharing. That is a very, very important aspect. Then we have the open RAN. RAN, you understand, radio access network. Then reconfigurable intelligence surfaces and terahertz research. So actually, they are defining the real challenge for the innovation research. Then we are looking also 28 to 29, not far away. Now we are in 25, so 3 years later. Prototype 6G network infrastructure testing, a start of standardization efforts. How many of you go to a standardization body meeting? Any one of you go to attend a standardization body? You go.
I'm actually part of one of the IEEE standardization process
Okay.
for robotics.
Robotics. And generally, where do you go for the meetings?
Generally, they have meetings online,
Hmm.
but sometimes they actually utilize some conferences where if you are going, so you can attend
Attend
the
it.
meeting in person.
But India is playing a role in IEEE
Like not as a country, I am representing my country as an individual.
as an individual. Government of India does not give any funding for this. Not yet. Okay. Then we have 2080, 29, and then 2030, full scale 6G commercialization. At least country like Germany, France, US, all these countries will go ahead full scale commercialization. I doubt India will go ahead. Of course, features will be, as I discussed already. Then about both brain-computer interface and so on will happen. So this is the timeline for 6G. Still, we have time. It is only 25. 5 years is enough time to think over and go ahead and participate in installation. Although even if you are not getting support from government of India, maybe your institute give you funding to travel to attend the international meeting. They give you
Yes,
outside India also.
yes.
That's good aspect. I think I will strongly recommend you to attend the ITU meeting or HC meeting. Generally, what I observe in ITU meeting, only 4 5 Indians are there. I don't know when I was young, like I can talk about 10 years before now, I don't attend the meetings and so on. Do you think number has gone up now attending the meeting for international body in India or from India?
Yes, sir. Actually, when I joined the meeting, I can see 10 to 15 people are from India, although they are working in US, but they are Indian origin.
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about real India.
Real Indian, unless no.
So still things have not changed.
But mostly people, those who are working in US companies, they are like having some Indian roots.
But I'm also Indian root. But when I attend with my name, it is written Denmark.
Yes,
It is not written India. Professor Ramjee Prasad, Denmark, or so and so from US or Canada. I would like to see so and so from India. And somehow it has to happen. And it can happen only you young people challenge the government. Then it will be possible. Money is there. Why government is not giving the money to travel and so on? I am surprised.
so they are giving, but not specifically mentioning that you should go for a meeting. They are giving support for attending conferences and even for chairing a session.
No, but standardization is very important. If you attend the conference, present a paper, matter ends.
Yes,
But if you are attending a standardization, presenting something on the name of India, India participated in standardization. And at least 10 years before, I didn't find any standardization participation in India. They are attending a meeting only sleeping. Or, I'm sorry to say, most of the time I saw 10 Indians, for example, from Government of India Ministry with a lot of funding, and meeting starts, they leave and go somewhere else. Nobody is present except their bag is there, India name is written, but not attending the meeting. Hope things have changed now.
it is changing, but slowly.
Thoda thoda.
Sir,
No, I'm not criticizing the people. I'm criticizing the government policy. Essential requirement for 6G network, ultra high data rates, you have seen it, ultra low latency, massive connectivity, AI-driven automation, secure and reliable communication, global coverage. And what you have to do for global coverage? That is the big challenge we have. As I told you, till 5G, we have only terrestrial communication. 6G, we are expecting a real coverage from here to space, satellite, everywhere. This is a big challenge. Do you have any idea how to go ahead to cover such a wide range aspect for 6G application? Anyone, you are thinking something? global coverage, how to make global coverage.
In this aspect, sir, every country should come together to solve this problem because there are certain differences in every country. Like suppose European Union, China, and USA. If all these big alliance come together to solve this problem, then hopefully we can get a global coverage. Like for example, Elon Musk trying with his Starlink satellites to have a global coverage. But if countries come together rather than individuals, then we can have this global coverage.
It's a good idea. Do you think India will join the hands with China?
Sir, this is noble cause, so, like because we have international space center where every country is supporting. For example, although currently we have some conflict between US and Russia, but at that ISS, International Space Station, they were collaborating with each other.
That's
So
good.
that is possible.
That is possible. Energy efficiency in 6G. As I mentioned, this is a very important part of the research for the energy efficiency to enhance. So motivation, key approach, what are the approach, hardware innovation, and spectrum efficiency. Spectrum is coming everywhere. So hardware is very important aspect. And when I was going through some of the documents from India, they are talking, but they are not spending money for the hardware development. Why? Well, it needs a lot of funding for the hardware development, like NIT or IIT. Even for the IIT, they are all working for the software, writing papers, publication, and so on. But I didn't find a hardware laboratory in IITs also. I don't know if I'm wrong or correct.
Exactly. It's very costly, and nowadays the issue is that if you go to the traditional hardware suppliers, for example, in the same thing is costing 2 to 3 times, which probably a startup or a small company would provide it. So at this moment, what we are seeing is observing is mostly the startups are developing these test beds, which is actually more and more. Not, I might not put it useful, but much cheaper than what actually the companies like NI and other big firms actually giving out.
But a startup company, but they do not have the human resources for research.
Yes, but
So
that's
they
why.
should invest the money to the institution like NIT.
Yes. So these small startups have developed some of these hardware,
Mm.
but I think slowly it is coming up into the market.
Slowly.
Yes.
A spectrum is the key parameter and particularly emphasis on the grain modulation techniques. This is what we have to emphasize for the research. Sustainable and smart cities and IoT with 6G.
What do you mean by that green modulation techniques?
Green modulation technique, because we know the modulation, but here modulation is not from that point of view. It is the technology point of view. How the technology has to be developed for the green communication. That is the aspect I am talking about. So I have used the word modulation. We are talking analog modulation, frequency modulation, and so on. Nothing to do with analog or frequency or so on. It is that word has been used to develop the green technology. This is a very important topic. This is the topic where you can talk hours and you can write a book on this topic. So vision is 6G is an enabler for society 5.0, a human-centered, data-driven society. Data fusion from massive IoT for real-time urban intelligence. This is the key parameter we have. A smart infrastructure we need, green buildings with real-time energy uses data, autonomous waste and water system, sustainable public transport. That is not easy to reach. Sustainable public transport. How many you expect that we will have within 5 years sustainable public transport? Anyone who can guess how many years it will take in India? Sustainable public transport. Yeah?
So I think because government has already taken initiative regarding the hydrogen bus, hydrogen truck, and electric vehicles, government is probably as per the document says that by 2030 the diesel cars, at least in Delhi NCR and other places, will be completely banned. So people will rely on alternative sources. So sustainable vehicle will, if not in 5 years, probably in 10 years.
10 years, 10, 15 years. Then, of course, IoT is an important part. Carbon neutral networks. Do you think we'll have carbon free India? 20 years? 20 years from now. So, cloud native and edge native processing for energy minimization. I think carbon free is difficult. When I was in Delhi, while coming here, it was difficult to breathe myself in the city. So, key takeaways 6G goes beyond connectivity. It is about intelligence, efficiency, and sustainability. The transition from 5G beyond 5G 6G marks a paradigm shift in network design and application scope. 6G will redefine smart living, mobility, work, and governance through its unique blend of speed, coverage, and ecological awareness.